I'm back. Welcome to Gigi's Story Times, which are story times between God and Grace, being me. Today's episode is called Give the Jollof. Particularly after lockdown, many of us have been looking at them flights and have been enjoying traveling. So I was able to travel to another nation. I will not say which nation I actually was leaving or the nation that I was entering or even the airport that I was in. But there was a lesson that I definitely learned. Thankfully, my mum was around in the nation that I was leaving. And obviously, as a sweet, caring mother for her darling daughter, she heard that I didn't really want to cook when I landed in the other nation. She cooked contomere. Oh! One of my favorites. Chicken stew where the stew was less than the chicken, which means that there's more than enough chicken after the stew is finished. Oh, she really put it in there. And then she also cooked jollof rice. I think I had 3 or 4 containers of food. And don't get it twisted, I was very fine with that. And to top it off, Auntie gave me jollof rice in a container, so I had 2 types of jollof rice, which were ready to come with a meat. And the day to travel arrived. As I was getting ready to go, and I was in another location beforehand, I felt God say to me, Grace, you should give that jollof rice. Although initially resistant, I found that we gave the jollof rice that my auntie had given. But in general, it was fine because I had multiple packets, probably about 3 or 4 containers of food in my backpack. So I was ready to go. But then security came. As you already know, with security, there are 2 forms where your things go through. First one, when it goes through the straight path, all clear. But when it's the second path and it goes to the side, it means someone's going to check what's inside there. And that's what happened with my food. I saw it going through the second path, not through the first, and thought, okay, we'll relax. And the security man asks,
what's this?
Just some of the food my mum made for me.
I think I'm gonna have to check my manager's point of view on this.
So, as I waited on the side, it was not just normal waiting. I was interceding for my jollof rice. I was generally praying, Lord, make a way where there is no way. And so when the manager came and said,
And what is this?
It's just some food my mum made.
Sorry, it's a liquid.
But I froze it. I froze the liquid, so it's a solid.
I really apologise, you cannot take this with you into the airport.
And as that security man put the food into a bin, I said, ouch. Instead of food dropping into my stomach, the feeling that dropped into my stomach that moment was just, it's not there anymore, praise God. Afterward, when I was walking through the airport, low-key, quite upset, still with that feeling there, I believe God spoke and said, Grace, what you gave cannot be stolen from you. Now, I'm not saying that the security stole anything from me. In reality, I did not listen to protocol, so we moved. But what I did sense in that moment was that 1 container of jollof rice that I actually gave lasted longer than the 4 that were thrown away. Not just because they were thrown away, because even if I had eaten them, they would have gone in one way, taste buds, and gone out another. And although it would have provided nutrients, God provided for me to eat anyway later on. It wasn't jollof rice, but we appreciate you, Jesus. Yes, giving isn't always easy, but it is something to do. And even if you don't believe in Jesus, the thing that lasts longer are things that you give. My character, thankfully, I believe, has grown by me having given that jollof rice when I wanted it all for myself, although I had 4 already. And it reminds me of something Jesus said when he says, don't store up treasures here on earth, where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. Now, I've learned, yes, giving lasts longer. If you sow a seed, even though you're letting go of something, maybe it's an apple that is dropped to the ground, it has seeds inside. Yes, you didn't get to eat it, but that apple will bear much more fruit when you give it and put it in the right soil. I say this and it's still something I'm growing in and learning, but I do know now that when God tells me to give, while there's sometimes I gotta ask him for a little bit of help, even if you don't feel to give, know that there's a lot more in giving than in just receiving. And my mom, who took the time to cook that food in the evening hours for her darling daughter, she's given something that's lasted longer than that moment, because she gave it to me and I got to experience her acts of service and aspects of her love. So yeah, that's the story time for today. Keep growing, keep learning. There's a lesson in every single day, and God is the one that is the best teacher of life anyway. Right, is that my hair? What is going on there? Thank you. Sorry.